Weird shit I've seen working for a paramilitary company. So after working security for about 2 years, I decided I want to do something new. 4.5 months later, with no real luck, I eventually came across a now hiring post on a PMC. We were here for a call Equal Trial Security Solutions, or ESS. At the end of September 2017, I picked up my stuff, including my own spaced out Plamato State Armory AR-15, which has an M16A1 style stock and full end, and is set up similar to a XM605, but with a railed upper and folding front sight. I'm a person who believes in having as light of a rifle as possible, and all of the plus a silencer. It makes for easy shooting setup that only weighs 7.8 pounds. And they sent me to Brazil. Upon stepping off the crop duster cum shuttle plane that flew me from Rio, I stepped into a dirt runaway several miles into the north of Brazil. Surrounded by beautiful mountains and rainforests, shit looked like a postcard you could walk in. Nearby the main hangar, only one has this with a client's personal runway, set a relatively indistinct 1970s Ford crew cab truck with 3 guys standing by it, shooting the breeze and enjoying a smoke break. Mark 1, hey, are you Glasses? Hey, are you Quaker? Me. Yeah, you Vince? We talked for a bit. They turned out to have been fresh out of the military service. Vince was from the British infantry. Flores was from the Navy, got tired of boat life. And Louis was from the German infantry as well. We all hopped into the truck and began the 3.5-mile ride through the forest to our destination. Estate Riviera, or at least that's what is said on the sign. Napkins, silverware, and tactical golf carts. The estate was starkly modern compared to the wilderness that surrounded it, only 10 feet from the fences. Vegetation within that zone was cut to prevent monkeys from entering the premises on tree branches and giving somebody rabies, and totaled 40 acres, being rather impressively square rather than a rectangle pretending it was a square. Most of the property itself was still jungle, but in very center was a property that was mostly inhabited by people. There were 2 buildings with a courtyard, spanning the distance between them, equaling generally 200 yards. The one to the south was done as a classical Italian villa, and was the home of the client, while the other building was built out of what looked like solid concrete for the walls, with holes cut in for windows as well as filing slits for the defensive accents. Inside, the south building was very, very fancy, and the north building was equally quite nice in its own way. We would rotate between the north and south buildings, depending on which one you were in. Your schedule verified. If stationed in the north building, we would rotate every month. We would be tasked with walking the grounds around the buildings themselves, standing on the roof, watching the sky, rainforest for any sign of incoming vehicles or people, and to use the tactical golf carts to patrol the forest area. Since I've mentioned it twice, I imagine somebody's going to wonder what made the tactical golf carts tactical. Firstly, they were heavily modified with lift kits, all-wheel drive, and a V-twin 670cc motors instead of the electric motors, and winches at both ends. They sounded great, and on the top of that, we were outfitted with armor around the engine, battery, and fuel tank, good for up to a .308 round. They were the type that has 2 rows of seats facing forwards and 1 backwards, and would always patrol with 6 people on board, so to have people looking in every direction. I personally thought they were damn clever, although some of the other guys wished they had a radio, As an average patrol on the longest route, the ring road going along the inner side of the fences, I would take almost 2.5 hours to complete. On one of those controls, we got stuck and we were winching it out of a muddy section nicknamed the glue trap. One of the guys found a banana tree. The image of 5 guys standing around in full ERDL combat gear, each with a banana, and one guy operating the cart, and which also with a banana in one of the funniest parts we had there. Wild bananas taste different, but they're not bad. Me and the other guys still laugh about it when we hang out. Our tour at the place was largely uneventful for most of 2017, with the most harrowing experience being that one guy tripped and busted his nose on the pavement outside the South Building because he didn't tie his shoelace well enough. Around the start of 2018, we began having incidents happen around the property. When the middle patrol rocks would be thrown at the cart, causing everyone to disembark and search the area the rocket came from. And we do not find any indication of any human activity. This was weird because dirt allowed for fairly easy boot prints to be made. The villa would randomly get alerts from motion sensors in rooms nobody was in, as well as doors being found unlocked despite cameras indicating that no one anywhere near them. Following the last person to use them, with locking the doors open, leaving the building as practice as standard. The north building would occasionally randomly have power go out in certain rooms, but the electronics being checked over 12 times indicated nothing was wrong with them, and we had generators powering everything, as there was no other source of power. After a few minutes, it would go back on, but upon entering, we would find things misplaced. At one point, someone was doing an armory inventory check. If not on shift, our rifles would keep there to be serviced, and otherwise kept out of harm's way. And found one of the guy's rifles missing. The alert went out, everyone got up in gear and performed a fine-tooth search comb for the whole property. Somehow, in the 3 hours between when he put the rifle in the armory and the inventory check, the rifle had showed up in the villa's china's cabinet. There was a camera that watches that room because of the several $1,000s worth of fine china and the other decorative pieces. And for 15 minutes before we entered the room, the camera went black, coming on just as we entered. That was immediately a red flag, as 2 people watched the cameras, 40 total. So if one of them had gone off, the other would have noticed it. A guy going into the settings and turning that specific camera off, then back on again. At the same time, the camera was set up specifically to watch those guys watch the cameras so that neither of them even touched the cameras or keyboards in the room, and were actually just sitting there, bored out of their skulls. Anyone was hella spooked, as the edgelords say. We stayed on high alert for the next week, but came out empty. Then one day a motor squad went out. I failed to radio in halfway point of the route. They were taking trails going south, turning to the east, then following the fence back until they hit a connecting road that looked them back to the start. And 2 more were sent out, including myself, to see what happened. The sun was going down. Due to me not having thought about this happening, I was forced to duct tape a Maglite flashlight to my rifle, which the other guys laughed about for all 15 minutes before the joke got old. Hindsight sucks, but at least I was able to come up with something. Usually we would cut off motor patrols when the sun went down, resuming in the morning, but this last patrol had left at 4:30 p.m., and it was now 6:20 p.m. The route normally takes only 20 minutes, so this was alarming. We took the long to get ready and head out because most of us were getting ready to go to bed as the night shifters walking up to their job. After 10 minutes, we found the cart, and this thing was fucked up. It seemed as though it's taken IED blasts from the blown out tires, oil leaking from the engine. It was not armored from below because roadside IEDs are not how bullets and Brazilians roll. I had clearly been hit by bullets and not rocks this time. Calling it in, we did a quick search of the surrounding area, but didn't find any hint of the 6 guys that went on that patrol. We hooked the winch up from Alcott to the disinhaled one, and bounced back to the compound where everyone was full. We just got hit and are expecting a further attack mode. When we rolled in with that heap, a couple guys stepped and started with a look of terror. I know only indicates one thing. What the fuck did that? We stayed on black alert. The scale goes black, green, yellow, orange, red, black. Blue being we could literally be standing outside naked. There wouldn't be no mosquitoes to get at us. And black being, if we had nuclear weapons, we would use them right now. For all of August 2018, we called it off after finding no indication of further planned attacks. In July, we found the 6 from that night. They had moved far from the trail, and based on the way they were arranged, had been pursuing something when we brought them back, and the doctor who was formerly a doctor for the major hospital stateside, that had been killed by simulations, heart attacks. What the fuck? Immediately, everyone was utter confusion as to how 6 guys who had perfect health records, sort of smoking and drinking alcohol, unlike the rest of us, they were in their mid-20s, would die from fucking heart attacks. There was no way. The client and command of our security force both agreed that this wasn't coincidental, and the decision was made to purchase 2 modified plane-style drones. They were honestly wimpy compared to Predator drone, like we had used in the army, but when airborne were deathly silent and would allow us to survey this property and surrounding areas without detection using IRNVG imaging and flare imaging. Basically, if something used a light or had a heat signature, we would see it and it wouldn't even know it. For the 4th month, we didn't see anything beyond the occasional bird. But by the end of 2018, we were honestly not sure what to do then. Shit, went into turbo gorilla mode. In the middle of the night, December 14th, the power generator shut off. Lights out. Everyone got into their gear and carefully crept out of the north building. Silence. Not even birds or crickets. I was as if some guy kicked in the door of a house party and screamed, "Everybody shut up, I'm an erection." And everyone was in loss of words. That's what it was like. Once the coast was clear, we radioed the Villa team. Carlos, next building team commander. Carlos to Vince, you copy? Vince, I copy. What the fuck happened? Carlos, something happened to the generator squad. The way is in now, trying to get it started back up. Vince, well, hold the fuck up. We're blind, save for the drone. We ran one drone during the day, the other at night. They were indicated in teams of features, but we just put a night sticker on one and a day sticker on the other to prevent confusion. Flores was one of the best at handling the damn things. He used to fly model airplanes as a kid, so he was in charge of monitoring the area while we got the lights back on. Flores, hey guys, big heat signature heading up the south path. Carlos, what the fuck does that mean? He was more confused than angry. Flores, it almost looks like 6 guys. Carlos, almost or is? Flores, that's the murder squad. They look like shit. Carlos, well, how the fuck are dead bodies walking up to our doorstep? Flores, listen, what it looks like to me, if it's a team, I want to go see what's going on. They didn't look armed, but keep that drone on them and stay in touch with us. Quaker, Pablo, Emerson, you want to join me for a nighttime stroll? After a moment of laughter, all three of us agreed to back up floors on this, and when we got the green light from the south building, any unusual actions had to be approved by north and south commanders before it can happen. We headed out. Part soon coming soon. Stay tuned for part 2.